morning, heroes. So I am starting to get really excited planning for our intro to winter hiking on March 14th. So it's a little under 2 weeks away. If you haven't been winter hiking before, it's a really, really beautiful, eye-opening experience. I think hiking in general is one of my favorite ways to connect with my body, give my mind a little time to just relax back into some simple feelings. And it's very cleansing in that way for me. Winter hiking, in some ways, can be even almost easier on the body. And very, very beautiful, these scenes that, before being introduced to winter hiking, I had never seen before. At the same time, in order to go out and get out there completely prepared, I really want to emphasize being mindful on the trails, and a lot of that has to do with the preparation. So there are certain things I want to show you today that absolutely, I'll clarify some things I will not take you, right, if you don't have. So there's certain pieces of equipment that are absolutely mandatory. And then there are other things like the layers that we have on. Most likely, if you're a person who grew up in New England or even have spent one winter season in New England, you probably actually have enough and practical layers for this. But I'm going to go over the way I dress and the way I prepare a bag so that when we do go out, we can go out feeling well prepared, so no worries. Know what to do in tricky situations, and just know what's kind of necessary to have like a baseline enjoyable and well prepared hike. So that being said, let's get started. I'll try to keep this video under 10 minutes. Let's go. So I have my base layers on. They're synthetic. So one of the most important things is this is one time that I'll just say do not wear any natural fabrics. For example, cotton. It's actually pretty dangerous to wear base layers of cotton because if we sweat, it stays wet, and then in really cold temperatures, not good. So you want moisture wicking. That's so important. That's one of the essentials. So no cotton layers. I have a tank top under here. I have this layer. I probably won't start with it, but I have a layer very similar to this that's a little more like fleece lined. I'll probably just tuck it in my bag, just in case for later. When we first start, we'll probably start with not that many layers. I'll probably start with this, and then this one's a little heavier, still athletic, still moisture wicking, but this one has some fleece inside, a little bit of fleece. So these are probably the layers I'll start with. I have my winter coat. Oh yeah, let me show you. This is actually a little bit bigger than a lot of my friends carry. So don't be super concerned about having like a perfectly small, lightweight coat. Like a lot of big time hikers will wear like lightweight puffies or something. I love this coat, especially for this little reflective stuff inside. So this is just my winter coat. It's perfect, but I'm definitely not starting with it on, so it's folded up as small as I can get it, and it's actually one of the first things in my bag on the bottom. It's likely you won't even need it. Again, if it's like above 25 degrees, you might not even want it. The times where it's really important is if the weather surprises us, or if it's really windy up top. It is really important at least to carry it. Pants, same thing, synthetic layer. These have a little layer of fleece inside, which I love, but you don't have to be fancy. Most important thing are wool socks. So again, like no crappy little dinky socks. Wool socks, it's not necessarily cheap to like go buy a pair of wool socks. The first time I bought them, it was so hard for me actually to choose to pay. I don't know, they're not that expensive, but to pay that much for like one pair of socks. But they are one of the most important things I've ever purchased for like a safe and prepared hike. So I want you to have not one, at least two. So one on your feet, at least one extra pair of wool socks, and at least like two other extra pairs of socks, whatever they are. But it's best if you just have like a handful of extra socks. So that being said, hopefully our feet won't get wet. And the ways to, the ways to make it up and back in one pair of socks is, so if you have a pair of pants to go over, that kind of tent over your boots. And what I mean is, if I'm in my base layer and then my boots are on, right, the snow can really easily get inside. And so either you need a pair of pants that tent over your boots to protect your socks from getting wet, or you have something like a gaiter. So I love these because a lot of times I'm too hot to put another pair of pants on. And basically I just have this that I wrap around my leg. It velcros in the front, it tightens right below the knee, and it tents over my boot like this. I love these. But you don't have to have them. This is one of those things that's like, they're nice if you're gonna try to do more winter hiking. Like, also one of my favorite purchases for sure. But you don't need them as long as you have. I've done a winter hike just with like these and then like a pair of rain pants before that cinched over my boots. That's perfect. Most likely, again, if it's over like 25 or 30 degrees, most likely you're not even gonna want to wear like this thickness of snow pant. It's gonna be too hot. Master Dahari and I went about 2 weeks ago. Coming down, we both had our snow pants on because usually, you stop at the top, or if you've eaten, your body gets cold if you pause. We put them back on, and the moment we were moving down the mountain, it was like way too hot in these pants. So anyways, it's good to have something like it with you, but these like kind of snow pant style, these actually aren't even proper snow pants. They're like all season pants, but they have those, like this is one of my favorite parts, right at the bottom, that cinch over your boot and even like latch onto your laces. So it's like a nice seal. So anyways, if you have like a thicker pair of pants, they're gonna go at the bottom of my pack. Okay. Let's see. So gloves, most of the time we're probably just gonna be in like a thin glove, like a glove liner is fine, right? It doesn't hurt to have an extra pair of these. If you don't, it's fine. But I have my liners usually, and then I do have one mitten. The main thing is that it's more of a waterproof shell, and I really like that. But also, I really like being able to put my fingers together inside the mitten style. It's a little bit warmer instead of having your fingers all separated. I do have one extra pair of those. Scarf. These are this is like a neck gaiter. I really like these because at the top, if it is windy, you can like put it around your cheeks and stuff. And a hat. Okay? This is like minimal, like you need to have this kind of stuff. But like it doesn't need to be a proper gaiter, like you can bring a scarf. It's better, again, if it's moisture wicking, so like certain materials might be weird. Trust, like if you put a scarf around your neck and if you don't want to sweat in that material, then try to find something more like this. Let's see. So clothing basics is like make sure you have extra socks and underwear, and like you're probably rolling your eyes like thanks mom, but like do it. And then okay, the next like absolutely mandatory thing is micro spikes. I'm going to show you the foot gear. So there will be, this is not what you need. there will be at least 3 of us with proper snowshoes. A lot of hikes we end up just carrying this actually on our packs, and we don't need it because if we're more, unless there was new snowfall like right before we hit the trail, we usually don't need these. However, if there is snowfall right before we hit the trail, we're going to be packing down the snow. The most important thing that you absolutely need to have is a pair of micro spikes. They look like this. This is the toe, this is the heel, right? And basically it just goes over your boot. And these metal spikes are at the bottom, so you can get good grip on ice or snow, on slippery surfaces. I wear these actually, last hike I wore this the entire hike. I didn't take them off. They are without a doubt the most important purchase I've ever made for winter hiking. And like a purchase that has made it so much more enjoyable. Kahtoola brand. They're good, but they're like $70. I know that's not cheap. I highly recommend it. Again, it's like one of the most worthwhile investments. However, there are decent pairs for about $30 on Amazon, somewhere in that price range. And, if you're going to be doing a lot of hiking, just like bite the bullet and get a pair of these. But if not, there are okay ones for about $30. As long as it's like this, like they need to at least be like this intensity. There's some like really kind of flimsy ones that people wear to like shovel their driveways, but they need to be like chains and spikes. Okay? These are like the most important thing or one of the most important things like next to water that you're going to take on the trip. I should have one extra woman size. And we can ask about borrowing pairs, but I think like if anything, like that's the one purchase I'm just going to require. Everybody just has. These are not necessary. And some people frankly don't like to hike with them, but I really prefer it, especially going uphill. These lengthen, right? So they lengthen out a little bit down here, and it just helps like disperse the weight so I can use my arms and legs a little hike. I carry 2 poles usually. You don't have to have hiking poles, but here they are. So, the last like really, really important thing I just want to cover is water. I should have covered it first, frankly, because water is the most important thing. So this guy, when full, it's not quite full, but this guy is about 2 liters. Actually, in the winter, the Camelback style is not, ideal because sometimes the tubing, like the water freezes in there. We can get around that a little bit by like blowing back through the tube after we finish and then locking it. But anyways, my point is if you don't have a Camelback, don't run out and buy one because in the winter it's actually not that convenient. But I like them anyway. And then I want you to have at least 2 liters, but if you carried 3, that'd be best. So something like the size of that Camelback plus this is 1 liter. This is 1 liter. So at the minimum, have 2 of these at the minimum. But when you go out hiking, especially in the winter, like you want to have extra water and then like enough for you and like somebody who needs help. So please carry water. In terms of like safety preparedness, I'd be happy to go over that a little bit more. I will be carrying a decent safety kit. A friend, Kevin, is coming along. He's a ranger up in Maine, so he's very, very well prepared. So between the 2 of us, we have good safety kits. If you would like to carry a little bit of extra, like a Band-Aid or blister Band-Aid, that would be great. I really like Coban. I don't know if anybody used to use Coban for like athletic things. I love carrying this just in case of like an ankle twist. But usually with our winter boots, it's a little bit less of an issue. Like I know my winter boots have a pretty, like very strong ankle support. So we don't have to go crazy there. So that's the most important thing. And then the last thing I'm going to bring up is, so again, I mean, along the safety things, we have maps, we have compasses. You don't need to buy a map. But if you ever go out by yourself, you better have a map. I use these. Exploring New Hampshire, White Mountains, or this guy, White Mountains. They're both waterproof. But yeah, so we have those. You don't need to carry one for next week, but I mean, it would be great if you had one. They're not expensive. And then yes, so the last thing is just the size of your pack. You can see this is a pretty big pack. I think this is like a 60-liter pack. So it's a decent sized pack. The thing about this is, you know, this is what my day pack looks like, right? And this is the size of backpack that a lot of people usually have. But frankly, it's not very responsible to do a winter hike with a pack this size. Because you're not going to be able to carry your layers like your coat, your pants, and your water and food. So we have extra packs. Kev has about 5 packs. I'm going to have 1 extra pack. It would be great if you did a little research on either if you're going to be hiking a lot, like get one. But of course a backpack is not like a small investment. So do a little research, see if you can borrow one from a friend. But we have about 5 or 6 extra packs. So in the case that you absolutely cannot get your hands on a backpack, get in touch with me. We'll talk. In fact, if you're having, you know, if you have questions about packing at all, we can talk. We're at 17 minutes. I went about 15 instead of 10, but thank you for your patience. This is all really, really important. Please let me know if you have any questions. I'm going to get off the camera for now, and then I'm pretty sure I covered all the important stuff. When you pack food, you know, as like small and like dense, you know, kind of like calorie packed things, my favorite trail food is peanut butter, banana, honey, and cinnamon on a sandwich. Yeah, peanut butter and jelly, stuff like that's really good. Trail bars, like energy bars, can be okay, but they can get like frozen, so they can be kind of like solid rock sometimes. Honestly, yeah. So if you have more questions, let me know. This is a really good start, and I'll talk to you soon. Hopefully I'll see you in 2 weeks.